So, lads, today we're going to be talking about New York Liberty coach Sandy Brondelot and how she tactically tried to take Caitlin Clark out of the game and whether or not she succeeded or failed with that. And I honestly, I don't think that she went out with that much of a different tactic. Like, I don't think she went out with that much of a different tactic compared to how she went out the last game. I do think the last time these two teams played, she went out with a quite similar game plan against Caitlin. The big difference is that the New York Liberty today did not have one of their key defenders in Leo Phoebish. But if you guys agree with this video and agree that Caitlin Clark cooked them anyway, subscribe. We are trying to hit 49,250 by the end of the day. If we could do that, that would be absolutely insane. But anyway, yeah. So what we are going to be doing here is we are going to be talking about the defense, obviously. So, Caitlin Clark in that game, if you look early on, first half, Caitlin Clark had 3 assists, 2 turnovers, 25 points, 5 boards, 3 assists, and was 9 of 13 from the field. How she guarded Caitlin early in that game, I watched it back, it was very much single coverage. It was single coverage on Natasha Cloud. And then I think they really did do a really bad job picking her up in semi-transition. So, like, not off a steal, off a rebound. Like, it is what it is. It's hard to pick up a lot of the time with the speed that Caitlin Clark speed the Fever come out at. If you're picking up in, like, if you're picking up in transition, you have to first player has to go to Caitlin. And because of Caitlin's matchup is very rarely the matchup that has to guard her on defense, a lot of the time she kind of walks into switches. Like, she kind of walks into it, off rebounds, they're kind of forced into having players they don't want on her. So there's a lot of times Maureen Johannes ends up being put on her. And if you end up with Maureen Johannes on her, automatically you're struggling. You are in a bit of a struggle if Maureen switched onto her. But early on in the game, they tried to put Natasha Cloud on her, and Natasha Cloud was actually getting called for the hacks this time. Like, she was fouling the crap out of her. Early on in the game, Caitlin turned the ball over. She literally just slapped her arm. Nothing. But, like, Natasha Cloud just runs around hacking. Like, there was a play where it was funny. There was a play where everyone's calling off a push-off on Natasha Cloud, and it's like, where Caitlin pushed off when Natasha Cloud fouled. It's like, Natasha Cloud fouled her between the time Caitlin got the ball inbounded and the time Caitlin Clark took the fadeaway shot, which she got fouled on. She possibly pushed off once. She got fouled at least 7 times. And the referees got Cloud in foul trouble. Cloud ended up... Oh, she was only on 2. Oh, sorry, that's in the first half. Jesus. In the second half, like, they had to take Natasha Cloud off her. She ends up on 4 fouls. Her insanity run was over. The offense was horrendous because she was so focused on guarding Caitlin. And it just did not work out. Because the Indiana Fever did not do what they did the previous time when they pressured Caitlin. They took the ball out of her hands. Yes, they took the ball out of her hands a few times late in the third quarter, and that was just a dumb quarter from the Indiana Fever. Like, as much as they won the third quarter, the Fever were also up 16 points. And at the start of the fourth, like, they were really bad at the end of the third and start of the fourth, and they were fantastic other than that. They were absolutely fantastic. But I will say it, for for the Liberty, the only success that they had was putting a big on her. And I think I wanted the Sky to do that. I think the only way you can guard the Caitlin and Aaliyah pick and roll, because of the way Aaliyah rolls and comes off the short roll and Caitlin's ability to see over defenders, you've got to do what they did, and it's put length on her. It's the only way you can guard Caitlin. Like, you can annoy Caitlin by putting a Jordan Canada on her. You can ignore Caitlin by putting a Natasha Cloud on her. You can annoy Caitlin by putting a Ryan Howard on her. But that is very much a situation where you're either sacrificing an offensive player, an elite offensive player, which a lot of teams do, and Ryan Howard, the Chicago Sky, did on Ariel Atkins. You're either sacrificing an offensive player, or you are banking on the referees and bailing you out or allowing you to be physical. And the referees allowed quite a lot of physicality, but it wasn't as bad as other times. So Caitlin was just able to constantly force those switches because of ironically, because of their offense. I think it was because of the Liberty's offense, she was able to force those switches. And then second half, they did a really good job because they put Kennedy Burke on the big. And by the way, this was what they tried to do. If you guys don't remember, Tibbetts tried to do it last year because Aaliyah Boston was going to cook Brittany Griner in the pick and pop or in the pick and short roll. They couldn't live with that. So last year, Nate Tibbetts actually put Natasha Cloud guarding Brittany Griner and then put Kalia Copper on Caitlin Clark, and they switched every screen. So I think that is the only way to do it. And I said that that the Sky should have done that. The Sky should have started a lineup with Beck Allen and put Beck Allen on Aaliyah Boston because she's not that physically dominant. And rather than running Cardoso out there and leaving Cardoso on the bench, put Beck Allen, maybe Ewell, or even Onyenwere, and with Angel guarding Caitlin Clark, and switch every screen. Switch every single screen on that. Like I said at the start of the year that's the lineup that they should have ran to try to stop Caitlin if you were the Sky. And I think that was the only success there was because Caitlin doesn't have the craziest length advantage, but Caitlin still did burn Kennedy Burke a few times. Like, she got really unlucky with that layup at the end, burning Stewie. She was able to burn down the stretch. She burned Kennedy Burke and Nash dribbled a couple of times and was hitting shooters. Like, they really had no answer. There was a few possessions where Stewie bothered her a little bit, and Stewie bothered her a lot when she was off the ball. But like, Caitlin Clark's not good off the ball anyway. Like, Maya Colwell bothered Caitlin Clark off the ball. Like, the only person that could stop Caitlin Clark today was Stephanie White. And Stephanie White did stop Caitlin Clark for a certain period of time. And again, like, this is a Caitlin. Didn't shoot too many free throws. Didn't shoot well from the free throw line either, 60%. Like, it is what it is. But yeah, it was a really interesting game. And I mean this when I say this, like, Sandy Brondolo at different times tried so many different defenders. She tried full court pressing Caitlin. She tried switching all. She tried blitzing. She tried full court with Tash Cloud on her. They just couldn't stop her. And even in the fourth quarter, where Caitlin did not shoot the ball well, even when Caitlin did not shoot the ball well in the fourth quarter, Caitlin Clark still came out with 2 clutch assists. And again, -3. Not a great fourth quarter from her. She still came out with 2 clutch assists to a Sophie, was it either Alexia or Sophie 3 and a Kelsey Mitchell 3. She still came out with those 3s. And yes, 2 to 3 assist to turnover ratio, a bad quarter from Caitlin Clark. Bad quarters happen. Bad quarters happen in basketball. And even in a bad quarter, she still made 2 huge plays down the stretch to win that game. So, if I'm being completely honest, this was by far Caitlin's best game of the season. And the New York Liberty legitimately tried to do everything they could. Absolutely everything they could. There was nothing that they could do to stop her. Because what they did is that by putting Stewie and Kennedy Burke in that switch, you allowed Kelsey Mitchell free on the weak side. You allowed Aaliyah Boston come in and dominate on the inside with 4 assists. Because you had all the pressure was on Caitlin, you allowed the Aaliyah Boston offensive hub to take over. And that's the thing. If you put all of your assets into stopping Caitlin, which Sandy Brondolo had to do because Caitlin was the only player who was doing anything in the first half, you allow Aaliyah Boston to take charge. You allow Kelsey Mitchell more free shots. And it was just tough. It's a big difference when you have, It is a huge, huge difference when you, for example, have Leo Phoebus out there. When you have John Quell, you've got a bit more foot speed. But when you don't have those, and you're not going to be guaranteed to have them for every game, it just looked like a struggle. It really did look like a struggle all around from the Liberty. Just from a tactical point of view, it looked like a struggle, not really knowing what to do. But at the end of the day, look, it is what it is. A fantastic, fantastic performance from Caitlin Clark. And honestly, Sandy Brondolo tried everything. Nothing worked.